Okay guys, so today I'm mixing it up with Gigi. My grandson called me and asked me to make him some ital soup, which is really strictly veggie soup. So I'm going to make that for him. It's going to be a big old pot of soup. So I'm prepping my veggies so I can cook him some serious ital soup. So I've already gone ahead and cut up a whole head of cabbage, and just in no particular order, and I washed it, and like I said, I'm prepping today, so I'm going to set that aside. I've also just go ahead and cut up two heads of broccoli or florets, including the stem part, because these little things right here got some serious fiber. So I already cut up that already and washed it, drain it. Now I'm going to store them back, put them back until I'm ready to make him that soup. Now I'm going to be cutting up some kale, and it's 2 small bundles of kale. They're not big at all, so I normally just take off. So now that part is off, so I'm just in no particular order chopping this kale, and I'm going to wash it. And I'm saving it for when I'm ready to cook my ital soup for my grandbaby. Here I have another bundle. And this is the hardest part of preparing your soup or your meals in general, the prep time. So if you can prep ahead, go ahead and do that. Make it easier on yourself when you're ready to cook. Everything is prepped. Looks like a lot of veggies, but you know how these things, they shrink a lot. So now these are all organic veggies, but I still like to wash them, and before I cook them I'll submerge them in a little bit of vinegar and water. Can't be too careful, got to get all that, whatever they put on it, because even the ones that mark organic, they still use some form of pesticides. Okay guys, so now I have butternut squash that I'm going to be cutting up, and the way you do this, I just chop it in half, no particular way, but I find it easier to peel like this, and then you just go around it with your peeler. These are very hard to peel. Now, not sure how to peel this part right here. I might have to cut it in half. Oh man, this looks so good. Look at these seeds. Gonna spoon that out. There it is. So now I am going to try to figure a way to get this bad boy peeled. And I think I might have to use a knife, because this peeler not going to work for me in these little parts. So I might have to use a knife. I mean, do what's best for you guys. If you find that it's easier to use the peeler, go ahead, but it's not working for me right now. So maybe I shouldn't have cut it in half. I don't know. I'm doing the best I can with it. That's all. Whatever you like. I want more than what they have in that bag in my soup, because it's a big old pot of soup. So Yep, I think I'm done. Yep, I'm done. Cut it in small pieces. Kind of like dicing it. Thanks to Juice Plus, I've been taking those nutrition in a bottle, in a capsule rather, for a while, and they are marvelously helping me. Coupled with good health, lifestyle change, they're doing wonders for my body. Maybe you guys can check that out on my, it's listed on my page below. Check out my website. It's a good alternative to eating healthy. Helps to bridge the gap. Check that out. Awesome. All right, I'm now cutting up the string beans, and I'm just using my handy dandy kitchen shears, and this is going to be the last thing I cut up. The rest of it I will go ahead and prep that in a little bit. Okay, so in addition to all the greens that I have cut up, I'm now going to do the onions. I have 3 large onions. Don't want to cry, so I'm just going to put them in this handy dandy ninja chopper. Okay. Okay, so they didn't all quite get done yet, so I'll put a couple more pieces in there. Plus I'm going to put my garlic in there as well because yeah, don't want to cry. Done. Still a couple chunks in there, but that's okay. I'm going to empty this in my pot. Now I'm going to do my garlic. And the easiest way to do your garlic is just to put it in the microwave for a few minutes to nook. Once it's in the microwave, I get a little warm, maybe a couple seconds, 10 or 15 seconds. You just take it out and they'll peel as easy as this, you know. So that's the way I do my garlic, because again, I don't want to cry. So I'm going to mince my garlic as well. I'm using a whole head of garlic here, or actually a head and a little bit, so a head and a half of garlic. Yeah, I like a lot of garlic, especially now in this season of life. Yes, 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 garlic cannot be too much. Load up on your garlic, honey. I make this soup every year, and during this season, several times for the season, I make it and then I freeze it. You can't beat that, because you know, the days when you don't feel like cooking, you open the freezer and there you have your soup. Alrighty, I think I got it all. Here we go again. There we go. Mincing my garlic. And it's all done. Okay guys, so let me take you to my counter where I have all the ingredients I'm going to use in my soup. And to start off, we have over here, let me focus the camera. We have cabbage, we have kale, have spinach, I have some Brussels sprouts, I have some broccoli, butternut squash, green beans, celery, and I have some scallions for garnish. I have some red potatoes over here. I have some green peppers right here, some fresh basil, and a bundle of goodness right here. This is thyme, marjoram, and oregano. I have corn, and I have 2 organic vegetable broth. And in my pot, I have 3 large onions and 2 heads of garlic. And I'm going to put this bad boy in there. This is from my garden. I just picked it. I picked one before that was red. This one is orange and black. And I was told that when they have these little veins on them, it means that they're hotter. So I'm only going to put one of these. And I also going to be using, so here we go. I'm going to be using one of this. It's coconut milk powder and 2 chicken noodle soup mix. So that's about it, and salt and pepper to taste. So that's all the ingredients. So let me take you to my pot. It's a big pot. In my pot, I have basically just the onions and the garlic, and I'm going to put a tablespoonful of coconut oil. Put the stove on. Okay, along with my onion and coconut oil, I'm going to sprinkle some garlic and herb. I know I have so much garlic in there, but I'm still layering on some seasoning. Then I'm putting a little bit of oregano. And I'm just going to let the onion get to a translucent stage. And then I'm going to be adding in my liquids and some more seasoning. But since I'm making soup for my grandson, I want to keep some for myself. So I have to make a big pot. Okay, so now I'm going to be adding in my vegetable broth, and it's two of these that I'm adding in. And you don't have to use vegetable broth. You can use chicken broth or whatever you want to use. Sometimes I even use pure water. That's all I have, and I will be adding water to this pot because it's a lot of veggies that I have to go in. So I will let that come to a boil, and then I start adding in all my goodness. In addition to all the other things I told you guys, I'm also going to be adding 1 can of Sicilian style bean and a can of medium green lima beans. Okay guys, now that my pot is boiling, I'm going to be adding in my celery. Yes, and that's 1 whole head of celery. Then I'm going to be adding in my butternut squash. That's 1 small medium butternut squash. And then the cabbage is 1 head of cabbage cut up and washed. I'm not sure if I'm putting all of it. I might just put half. Yes. Put in half of a head of cabbage cut up and washed. And 2 pounds of green beans. And I'm gonna let that let them leaven themselves for a minute. Then I'm gonna keep adding other ingredients. And I've also gone ahead. I have another pot on the side with boiling with some water, and I have gone ahead, in addition to the 2 vegetable broth, I've gone ahead and I've added about 8 cups of water to the pot. And I still have more water here just in case I need some more, which I might not, but I still keep a pot of boiling water on the side just to keep adding if I need it. Okay, so we're gonna let that go ahead and boil for a minute, and then I'll come back and add some more. Now I'm adding my broccoli. And that was 2 broccoli florets. And I'm also going to be adding in a 1.5 cups of shredded carrots. Adding in the peppers. 2 large bell peppers. And 1 jalapeno peppers. I'm going to put in the lima beans. And the lima beans and the Sicilian beans, I put those in for thickness. So those will help thicken the soup. Guys, take a look at that. Woo! Lord Jesus, I want to eat it already. Yes, so we're going to let that go ahead. Actually, putting in my Brussels sprouts, my corn. This looks like a seafood boil. I like to put corn like this instead of cutting the corn off and put the corn on the cob. I like the corn on the cob instead, because then you have a little reward. I feel like in the soup. This is a lot. I told you all this was going to be a big old pot of soup. So here it is. It's coming up there. Then I'm going to go ahead and put in my potatoes. Some small new red potatoes. Put those in as well. Yes, Lord. Okay. So everybody's getting along in my pot. And can you see it, guys? Yes. This is a pot full of goodness. I still have my kale and the spinach to put in there, but I'm putting in those kind of at the end because I want them to stay nice and green. Okay guys, I'm going to add 1 of the package of the chicken noodle soup, and this has all the salt that you will need. So that's why I haven't added any other salt. So I'm putting 1 in now, and then I'll check it later and see if I need another one. If not, I will leave it alone. If I do, I'll put 1 more. Because it's a large pot, so I want to make sure it's nice and seasoned. Remember, we have a lot of garlic and onions and other herbs in there. So we want to make sure we layer on the seasoning so everything will be nice and seasoned. All right guys, I'm adding in maybe a handful of 2 of the bow tie pasta, whole wheat bow tie pasta. To the mix. Here go the soup. It's taking off. It's doing its thing. So I've tasted it, and now I'm going to be adding some of my kale. Not all of it because the pot is too full, so I'm just going to add about the equivalent of 1 small bundle of the kale and let that go ahead and simmer. And then I'm going to add the spinach, which is going to be added at the last moment before I turn it off. There we go. That's a hearty soup you're looking at there, guys. I tasted my soup, and it's time to add another one of the chicken noodle mix because it needs more. So I'm adding the last one and let that simmer in with the rest of the goodness in the pot. There it goes. I've also added in a 1/4 stick of organic butter. And you can add whatever you want, but I'm taking a step back and trying to go plant-based everything. A process, so no judgment please. So this is organic butter, and that's the last thing I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna let that go ahead and do what it do, and then I'll come back and add the spinach, taste it, and make sure everything is good. Okay guys, now I'm adding in my little bundle of goodness. That's thyme, basil, and oregano. I'm just gonna set it on top. I mean, that's thyme, oregano, and marjoram, and this is a handful of basil. Comes straight from my garden. Yes. I'm gonna sink that in there. Let that go ahead and spread some love in this box. Yes, Lord. Can't wait to sink my teeth in those corns. Yes. All right, guys. Now I'm going to add my coconut milk. And this gives it a really, really nice flavor. Very nice flavor. You can add, normally I would put like an organic can of coconut milk or fresh coconut, but I don't have that. So this is what I have, and I'm adding this to it. And it does the same thing. You can put fresh coconut, organic coconut. Just don't use a coconut milk with a whole lot of sugar and stuff like that. And this gives it additional flavor, and everything is pretty much cooked. Make sure you taste as you go so you have the desired flavor you're looking for. And this is, oh my God, this tastes so good already. It's pretty much done. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my spinach in a couple minutes. Everything else is pretty much done. Now I'm going to be adding my spinach. And I'll turn the heat off. So this is pretty much gonna stay in here. Of course, you don't need any cooking time with spinach. It's gonna be resting, so while it's resting, it will be cooked. And you can chop your spinach if you like. It's not necessary, because as you can see, they already dissolved in the soup. But that is pretty much it. It's all done. Very tasty. Let me bring you up close. This is it right here. This is a hearty pot of veggie soup. Very healthy, very comforting. I have little potato, and I also have whole wheat bow tie pasta and corn. So this is an entire satisfying meal, guys. Thanks for watching, and please don't forget to subscribe. God bless.